I like your I like that you've got the oh, what the hell? Why did this go full screen?
See, what had happened was,
There we go.
What had happened was.
What happened was
eh,
this is
uh,
gonna be fun.
hey,
O-
check this out.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was gonna say I like your Peacemaker shirt
I
with
was
the
looking
blood
at
on
it
it.
today. Yeah, I was
does it
like,
do anything?
no, it's same thing as John Cena. It's
Same
just,
thing as most shirts. It
yeah,
just
it's
No, I was
shirts.
gonna say, does it do anything weird if I vape into the mic?
no,
Oh.
no, but you'll
Okay,
add extra edge to our podcast.
cool.
So what's going on? Welcome to pre-show, Ben. This is where we just kind of bullshit and
Excellent.
chit chat for a minute, and this
And
kind of
then it
gets
stays
us
exactly the same after he says all that other stuff,
pretty much.
except for we sometimes write some of it down.
Yeah, it's
That's
Okay.
that's that's pretty much the
Should I
gist
get
of it.
should I get like some paper or something?
if you
Nah,
feel so inclined. I mean,
I
we
mean,
both write it down.
sometimes there's a contest, but usually like that doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
Okay.
You could
you had a really annoying.
you could learn some math.
Yeah. There's the negative corn math right there.
Oh my god, did you post that yet?
Yeah, it's up. It's been
Oh,
up.
okay. I looked the other day when I was driving and like, oh, I don't see it. So
So I found a really nice way of doing it because one of the biggest picadillos of doing this is I really, really hate Jen's keyboard. And
mm,
so it's honestly bad enough that I'm like, I don't want to fucking type on that fucking thing. And so like I just save the draft on the computer and
yeah.
then I just go on my phone and I just type it up on my phone with my phone and I can do it pretty much whenever.
Can you hear my house phone? It just went ring for like that whole talking about keyboards.
No, I didn't hear shit.
Well, that's good because I heard it and it was annoying as shit.
And
Mm.
then it will start chirping.
No, she moved. It moved next door.
What?
Have I not told you? Like, this is my house. Nobody lives with me anymore.
No, you haven't told me shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, it started when Heidi moved,
Right?
right? I
Yeah.
told you about
Holy
Heidi
I
moving
remember when
out.
Heidi moved.
Heidi moved. So Heidi moved to Tigard or wherever the shit that dude lives. And my mom moved next door to where Heidi was so that she could take care of Grayson basically and wake him up. Mostly it was because she got tired of waking up and getting dressed and walking over there. And she's like, I could just sleep there because there's nobody there. So,
And then your dad's like, "Well, if you're gonna sleep there, I'm gonna sleep there."
well, sort of. So, like, he was staying here. And then when he had his knee replaced, he was like, well, it's probably easier to have somebody that can actually help me if I just stay over there. And then so he hasn't come back. And then he went and grabbed the cat and he grabbed the bird. And I'm like, cool.
You
All
want
right.
the you want the rest of your shit?
Yeah, no, we don't. This is my house. I'm like, whatever.
Like just
I'm
stack it in
not
the corner. They'll
arguing.
never notice.
Right. Uh, so yeah, that's funny.
Well, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. So right now, Rib's here. She's been here since Friday, but
With
other
their
than
head
that,
lice.
nobody has stayed here with me since like other than her in the last couple weeks. So
I like how frequently Ben is changing his
he's
lights.
figuring his shit out.
He's trying to figure out what's the coolest.
I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying to get the mood
Yeah,
set.
he's like
He's trying to get
he's like
he's trying to get
eat,
the hello ladies. Oh, how you doing? I do
could do
recognize that.
do like
So
some of this shit.
so over his right shoulder, you see
Uh-huh.
that doorway there.
Uh-huh.
So there's no door in that doorway, and that used to be the doorway between his room and my room.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like we eventually put the dresser there so we couldn't like walk back and forth between it. But like there was basically like no space between him and me in
Right.
the it's it would be like, "Hey
Yeah.
Ben, do you want to come over and
And
watch some
like
wrestling?"
and it was the worst because like I would go to bed before he did and he would leave his lights on and I could not fall asleep with his lights on. It was
He
awful.
he couldn't possibly get up and turn them off himself.
Yeah. No. They were your lights.
I mean,
They were Jake's lights. I didn't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
I walk in like, who the fuck turned my lights off? I had to turn them on when I got here. Well,
So
and,
yeah,
and also to
now
be
it's just
fair, it was like it wasn't like I had nice lighting in my room. It was a fucking fluorescent light bar.
Right.
like
Because
office.
yeah, because well, what the setup of the place was, the people who had the house before, they had like their mother live with them, and so she lived in Ben's room, and like my room was her like parlor area where she'd watch TV and shit, and it had like this paisley burgundy carpet and pink walls,
It
and
was
like
awful.
it was
I think the carpet's still
hilarious.
there.
It was hilarious. Yeah, the carpet's still there. But like she would watch TV in that room, and so they installed like a fluorescent overhead light. So it was just like the most awkward light to have, because there's no calm
Right.
with the fucking fluorescent light. And so like
Right.
I would get home at like 11 o'clock at night because I'm out covering a football game, and it's like I don't want to die walking into my room, so I turn the lights on and piss Ben off.
Right.
And
Oh
like I
man.
remember for years I hated going in there because the lights would just flicker and we could not figure out. We changed the tube so many times, but the lights would just flicker in there and it was awful.
Just fucking awful. Just fucking shitty lighting.
I
And
hardly ever use my light. Like I
there's no
use
room for a
these.
lamp. No
Well,
room
that's
for a lamp.
you didn't have this kind of lights back then.
True.
Yeah.
Now he's got the idea. Now he's got the lighting in there.
Yeah. That's definitely an improvement.
Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to watch the Lakers pretend like they don't suck.
Oof. Who are
Um,
they trying to not suck
the
against?
Sixers, which is funny because they're actually up by 4 on the Sixers. I mean, like the Sixers aren't good, but they're East good. So like they're fourth in the East, which is, and the Lakers, oh my God. Westbrook, I just watched Westbrook. Here's his defense. He's moving as much as I am right now. Oh, there's a guy back there.
Shit.
Like, that was it. That was
Hey, I called help.
No, he didn't. He didn't say shit. He just stood there and was like, "Hey, I'm from LA."
You got any good Gabe Wad stories from this week?
No, it's spring break.
Oh, you're free of Gabe Wad.
My Gabe Wad interactions ended Wednesday, so I haven't seen him since we saw each other.
Wow. No wonder why I've been in such a good mood.
Yeah, it's spring break. I had March Madness, and I just ate ice cream. So I mean, and there's a new update for the map on Call of Duty. I mean, like life can't get much better than that.
I completely forgot that it was spring break. Like it didn't even come to mind. And Kalea and I went to the coast yesterday and went to the aquarium.
Boobs
It
everywhere.
was jam packed with little
Mm-hmm.
snot nose
Mm-hmm.
twats.
Yep.
Fucking hate him.
But I got the shirt with Keanu Reeves on it.
Ooh, that is rad.
What are
Move the
those- is
tag.
that
Move the
sheep?
tag.
Yeah, move the tag.
There we go.
Yes.
That is amazing. Wow.
And then I got
And-
this one with Bigfoot.
I like that one.
The
If I have the opportunity to purchase that shirt, I will also purchase that shirt.
the Keanu Reeves one makes me
It's
think
a good
of
shirt.
my Abe Lincoln at the strip club shirt.
Yes.
I wore that yesterday.
I
And
love,
I got chocolate on it, and it was right in his forehead, but he's like staring like this. So I was like, is he looking at the chocolate? That's funny.
ding.
Ding.
Jake, do you still have your bear shirt?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Of course he
Of course,
does.
of course I do.
I have the eagle one. I can grab the eagle one right quick. It's right there.
I don't I need to figure out
ready.
how to find another one of those because it's
The-
been a few years.
What was the name of the company? It was
I mean, I could look at it. It's like Great Northwest or something like that.
No, it was something. It was like 2 words, and it was like "get high" or something stupid like that. Like it was.
I would remember if it was Get High.
It was something like that. Oh,
I
I'm
just
saying
got-
I would remember if it was.
All right,
that.
now I'm getting it. Hold on.
Yeah, you go get it.
I just got this new sweatshirt
Yeah, what is
You
it?
may recognize it because
Oh.
it's not a new sweatshirt, but
No.
it's a new version of the sweatshirt.
Oh, I
Oh,
see
get a
now.
life.
Get a life. That's right.
I don't know what my other one is, but my other one
Get a
said
life.
Mine's completely worn off.
I was bleaching something, and
Mine's
so I
completely
got
worn
bleach
off.
all over it, and then I just bleached everything. So now
Yeah,
it's like
bleach.
Yep.
bleach stain.
But do
Bleach it,
you have an
motherfucker.
eagly shirt? Like,
I do not have an eagle shirt.
because bitches love eagly. Mm.
Show your dog the invisible bone.
That almost turned into 96 quite bitter beings.
That almost turned into Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What? I swear, I saw that video that you sent the other day. Like I knew exactly what he was gonna say before I watched it. I was like, I've seen this already. And you're like, no, it just came out last night. I'm like, well, I saw it a week ago in my dream then. Because I
Yeah,
100% knew.
You must have time traveled because that was like I was listening to like a brand new podcast and like, okay, so this Monday, like Stone Cold to blah blah blah, and I was listening to it on Tuesday, so it was like
Right, just happened.
It was
That's
a
crazy.
premonition.
And then I
seen
looked
it.
back through the text and I was like, no, you didn't send it. But I knew you had sent it and I had watched it.
Oh, I got you some dice.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're rubber. That's weird. They're purple and gold, like Prince.
Ooh, okay, nice.
Because you're Prince. That's
Yeah,
like the only way you'll allow purple. Because if it's Prince related.
I heard you say purple and I heard the reaction. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I was expecting it.
You hear how quickly he overcame the
He's like-
objection. He's like, because you're Prince, calm down. As a matter of fact, here's
Yeah.
Jen's sheet right here. I think mine is in my gun safe because it's
It's a good
important.
place for it.
It's fucking important shit. Oh no, mine's just right here
Great.
in the file cabinet with my diploma, which apparently I have to show constantly. With like, I don't know what it is with the state of Washington, but they're like, hey, if you want to do this, you need to show us your high school diploma. I'm like, well, here's a copy of it. Like, no, we need to see the actual thing. I'm like, what?
You have to show it. You have to show it at the gas pump. By gas.
Well, no, there would be a lot of people out in Eastern Washington not getting gas.
You know, I've never once been
Heyo.
asked to show my diploma or any of that stuff for a job, but they always want to see your transcripts. Like transcript, I don't know if it necessarily says you graduated, but like it shows your grades. So
Yeah,
I could have went through all these schools and just never graduated, and they're like, yeah, it's good enough.
like, cool.
Like, then why do I have this fucking piece of paper? We need
You
an
played- you
official
played-
transcript.
You played yourself.
Right? Well, I didn't pay for it, so double jeopardy.
Double jeopardy.
Didn't pay you back. And then they're always like, "Oh, we'll find a way to forgive them." I'm like, "Damn right you will."
Like,
So
oh
is it-
no.
I wasn't gonna pay you anyway.
Yeah, you're like, joke's on you. This job doesn't pay shit.
Yeah,
How,
dude.
how are you gonna get money out of someone who doesn't make any money?
Yeah. Fatty just texted me a little bit ago and was like, "Can you pay Rivers baseball fee?" And I was like, "Hey, Riv, your mom asked for money for baseball," and she's like, "I don't even want to play." I'm like, "That's the right answer."
Like, there's spring basketball. Get involved with that.
It's weird because she likes wrestling right now because like there's a chance she might directly beat somebody. Basketball is too indirect right now, I think. So
Little
she's
too-
not
She wants more. She wants to beat up somebody. Is what's
kind
really-
of. And the fact that Grayson is
That's how I
like
play basketball.
similar, like yeah, she's only in second grade, so like she doesn't quite understand that beating up people in basketball is a thing.
Right. That's actually something I was going to talk about on the show. Is like I remember when I was playing basketball, like I was thinking about like I was always pissed off about something when I was on the court.
Yeah.
Like I was always working something out. And like I feel bad for the people who had to defend me because I was a fucking dickhead. like I played like an ass. Like I was never dirty, but
Right.
I was right up to the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like I made him feel me every time I was there.
Yeah.
And like I remember watching Ben play football And I remember seeing him work something out one time. I was like, okay, all right.
Were you there when I pulled the guy's helmet off?
No.
Oh my
But
god.
you told me about that.
I got a face mask for it. I didn't even touch his face mask.
Yeah, they're pretty weak on that. They're like, the whole thing is no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Call it helmet then. Call it
Yeah,
helmet, not
called the
face
helmet
mask.
penalty.
Yeah.
Exactly. If
Because
there
I had
was
a kid this year, 3 games in a row do the same thing. We only had 3 games. I'm like, bro, he didn't get called for it the first time. The second game, he only got a warning. The third one, they're like, all right, that's a flag. And I was like, see, I told you. Stop it.
I would have
and
accepted it if they called it a horse collar, even. But no, they called it a face mask.
horse collar would have said was okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably had to reach in there and grab from that area.
Oh, it's dumb.
I remember the only flagrant foul I ever got, and I feel like it was a total accident. So we were playing Triangle Lake, and we had 5 guys because 2 of our players were on academic suspension, and so I pulled my hamstring in the middle of the game, which fucking sucks. And so
Yeah.
I'm playing the rest like 2.5 quarters on a pulled hamstring.
Oof.
And I tell my coach, like, I got nothing. And he's like, well, pick a side of the court and stand there. And so, like, I basically
choose offense.
I choose offense, of course. Of course, right?
Just cherry picking the whole time. Hit me.
I didn't want to help the team. I wanted to fucking shoot.
Right.
So I just stand down the post, and to the team's credit, like they're throwing me the rock.
Yeah.
But of course, like I go up to shoot, and I get fouled, and I land on the leg that's hurt. Like first landing is on that, and oh god. So I'm hurt, and I'm struggling to get back, and I'm trying to defend the backcourt because we're down by like 7 with a minute and a half, and we're over the limit, and with no shot clock, like you got to foul.
Right.
So I go to foul the guy, and we called the kid the dude the Keebler elf because he was like 4'6".
Yeah.
And so I went
cookies.
like they passed it to him, and I go to wrap. Yeah, and he had a lot of cookies around him. And I went to go wrap him up, for the foul, and he ducks as I go to wrap him up, and my arm goes around his neck.
Oops.
And like I basically lift him up, like, and then immediately realize what's happening, set him down, which is dropping him on the floor. And they're like flagrant foul. I'm like, I didn't mean to.
Egregious.
Like I'm sorry.
I didn't know.
Look at him. Look at me. Look at yeah. If I could run, I would have just fouled
It was an
him.
oopsie, man.
Yeah, it was an oopsie
exactly.
whoopsie.
They didn't understand.
They didn't know. They couldn't tell that I was agonizing.
Right. I busted a dude's nose wide open, like doing the little pivot with the elbow. And I knew he was this super aggressive dude. And I'd played a ton of ball with him. But I was like, okay, get off my dick, basically. Yeah. He's like up in my shit. And I'm like, all right, let's see what happens. Whap! And the fucking nose just goes, and I could blood everywhere and no foul. I was like, oh, are you okay? And he's like, get the fuck away from me. I'm like, no, you should have done the same.
Bitch ass.
That's what you get.
we were playing Mackenzie, and they had like the first team center and the first team point guard in the state. Ooh. And like this kid, like he was on roids.
No, well,
I had to guard him his senior year, and it was all back knee all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this kid's definitely on steroids. Well,
he's on the juice.
Yeah, he tried to get in on this guy, John Boytz. Like, he's the only guy I know that like makes like he made me look small.
Yeah.
Like he's just a big beefy dude. He was where I got the term nude Sasquatch from, because he was he was like the hairiest guy I've ever seen in my life. So he grabs a rebound, and this guy's like reaching, trying to grab it, and John turns and just sticks his elbow just right in the guy's chest and puts him on his ass. And the Mackenzie coach jumps up, just pissed, just what the what are you doing? And the referee's running up the floor. He's like, he's entitled to his space, coach.
Yeah. That'll piss
And-
the coach off too.
Yeah. He's like, okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, just that one of those moments where he just pasted him, put him
Yeah.
on his ass, and oh, my coach was loving it.
That's crazy. Bales was telling me about I can't remember who it is, but one of the dudes at Marshfield, his dad, I think it's Marshfield. His dad is an assistant coach or like a volunteer now because
Right.
he was the coach. And I guess a package showed up to the school in his name, and it was straight up steroids for his son who's on the team. And they're like, yeah, you can't do that. So he didn't get full on removed, but they're like, yeah, you can't be coach now.
You're not allowed.
Yeah. But still come coach.
We're gonna have to let you go.
We'll just give you a different title. That's crazy.
All right, man. Are you ready for a good ass show?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, here we are. We're back again. It's another edition. It's another episode of my show, and we've got a very special lineup here today. You may notice that one of our squares is occupied, and the crowd is going. The crowd goes bananas. They're throwing babies in the air.
Thought he was
Hats are
trying to
going
fog up the windows.
It's
Hey,
madness.
may your dreams fly as high as your hats. But so I'm gonna switch up the intros here. Normally the third man in the booth, he slid over into the second man seat here. He's number 2 with a bullet. But number 1 in our hearts. I was waiting for you to laugh and say something there. But he is a head proprietor of the YouTube channel. He is the mouth of the Deep South. He is the agent of chaos. It's Robin.
Yeah, it's very good. I was thinking of a joke. I was like, number 2 in the bowl, but number 1 in your hearts.
Number 2 in the bowl, but number 1 in the hole.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, as I mentioned, we've got a special guest here with us tonight. Alex not here due to family responsibilities or something. Like he's got to be not bored by the in-laws or not act like he's annoyed by the in-laws. Sounds made up.
Oh, it is.
But he is my brother from another mother. He's an American hero. Thank him for his service. It's Ben.
Hi. Happy to be here.
Hey,
Hey,
I like it.
you remember when you said love is all you need?
Remember that time
Is that
when you were in the
true?
Beatles?
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Is that true? Yeah, so Ben, my younger brother, he is one of the cooler dudes I know, a regular Renaissance man, a welder, a maker of trebuchets, the head of the science team eating at the Y, a robot builder,
Semi-retired robot builder.
semi-retired robot
Oh.
builder.
Wow.
But he also
But
the
you have
only
got a
person.
guillotine.
He does have a guillotine, as you can see here. Made that himself.
Wow. Is that for cheese?
It's for carrots.
I used it for celery.
Oh, that works. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
That checks
Ben
out.
is
Yep.
Ben's a regular Renaissance man. He's had a forge since he was like 4.5. Been making blacksmith shit.
Oh, Forge. I thought you said like Forbes, and I was like, the magazine?
Yeah, he's had a
Like,
subscription to
I'm
I'm
Forbes.
also
so
on the Forbes list.
confused.
He's well read. He's
Yeah,
very
no,
well seated.
He's actually on the Forge list.
Forge, the top
Forge-
50 Forge
Forge's list is the name of the episode.
Forge magazine.
Forge's 500.
Forge's 500. He's number 496.
Yeah.
It's like, so if you're like
Those other
in the
4 guys
500,
suck
right?
it.
Like if you're in that bottom tier, like anywhere from 400 to 500, is it like you don't bring it up unless someone asks you, right? Like, yeah, I'm in the Forbes 500. Yeah, thank you. But like you don't start out like, oh, unless you're like, yeah, I'm number 15 on the Forbes 500. People are like, damn, dude, nice. But if you're like, I'm number 478 on the Forbes 500,
I
people
think
are
you
going to be
play
like,
it. I think you play it and say, the numbers are always changing. I don't know where exactly I am.
There's a lot
But
of
I'm on the
liquid.
list.
Fluctuates.
I'm
Yeah,
on the
it's-
list. There's a lot of
There's moving parts. I can't.
I
I'm
got a
on
lot
there.
of money in savings.
If you want to look it up, I'm on there.
I gotta move it to checkings. It's gonna
Yeah.
take 3 days. You know,
There it is.
It's in crypto.
it's in crypto, so it fluctuates.
Dude, I just did my taxes this week, and there were like way too many things about crypto on there. I'm like, I'm not telling you anything.
Like,
I also did my taxes, and that was weird.
Yeah, I feel like it's the old military
Aw.
thing where you just don't ask and don't tell. None of my shit is your concern.
right? It's like how many strippers are there that don't pay taxes and nobody cares?
Well, my thing is like it's
Count me
just
among them. I
it's
don't
like
care.
it's like my character on Call of Duty. I can't take it with me. It's on the game.
Hmm.
That money doesn't exist. It's out in the internet.
That money doesn't. That's you know, non-fungible transitions.
Exactly.
Transactions.
There we go. It's something's. Ooh, there's a good foul like you were just talking about. Joel Embiid though is like the fucking glass Joe over there. Somebody grabbed him. He's like, ugh, oh my back.
I thought you were gonna go for Mr. Glass from Unbreakable.
Well,
Samuel L. Jackson.
I went further back. Mike Tyson.
Tyson.
For the back.
Yeah. Dude, I just watched this video on TMZ today with Mike Tyson where somebody pulled a gun on him, kind
What?
of. Yeah, like, so here's the story. Mike Tyson's at this comedy show. It's like a rooftop comedy thing in LA somewhere. And this dude interrupts the comedy show and is like, hey, Mike, I'm just trying to, make it here and there and blah, blah, blah. And Mike's like, okay, just like kind of cool with him. Basically gives the guy, no, not basically, actually gives the guy a hug. And the guy like kind of goes away. The club owner comes up and is like, you got to get out of here. And the guy reaches for his waistband, pulls out the gun. You hear it click. And I was like, oh shit. And then Mike somehow calms the dude down and fucking gives him another hug. And the guy just leaves. I was like, Mike Tyson is on another level.
Mike Tyson's like, let me tell you something. The devil's a lie.
No, I think he's not scared of dying, or he was just really fucking high. He just,
Or both.
or it could have been both. Yeah,
Both can be true.
it's true.
Some from column A, some from column B.
He's that Venn diagram.
Mike Tyson. Do you know? I expect Robin to know this. Ben, I don't know if you know. You know Glass Joe and Mike Tyson Punch Out, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His record is 1-99. Do you know who his one knockout is?
No.
It's
I
Mike
feel like
Tyson.
I've heard it. Okay, is it?
It's Mike Tyson because there was an interview and they said, Mike, how'd you enjoy playing the game? And he's like, man, I couldn't even beat Glass Joe.
Oh, okay.
And so that was the 1-99.
Right.
Is he knocked out Mike Tyson and then lost 99 fights.
That's awesome.
Gotcha.
Do you remember that Will Smith song or Fresh Prince song about I think I can beat Mike Tyson?
No, I remember the That's How I Beat Shaq.
Like the Aaron. Yeah, by Aaron Carter.
Was it Aaron Carter?
It's probably the same idea.
Yeah.
Are you sure it was Aaron Carter? Or was
And
it like
then-
Lil Bow Wow?
I am absolutely certain it's Aaron Carter.
That's How I Beat Shaq.
And then the Lonely Island did How I Fought Rocky.
Right. I knew that one. Yeah, Aaron
haven't
Carter, How I Beat Shaq. That's How I Beat
haven't heard that
Shaq.
one.
Yeah. Huh. I think I could beat Mike Tyson. That song is funny. That one, I'm sure that's exactly how the Rocky
Go
one
Ducks.
sounds. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
It's exactly the same. So
I think I could beat Mike Tyson. Like, to me, it has the same rhythm as I wish I was a baller. I wish I could be a little bit taller.
Yeah. I Wish by Skee-Lo.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
song.
think I could beat Mike Tyson. I think I could fight him with the left and the right uppercut him. Say goodnight him.
That sounds kind of Little Dicky-ish.
It kind of does. He is one of my main rap
I think
influences.
anytime Jake raps, it sounds like Lil Dicky.
Unless it's in triplet flow.
Unless it's in triplet flow.
And then it's the Migos.
I realized the other day I almost did it again, but I was talking in triplet flow.
Oh.
It's really weird.
I've never done that.
It's when you realize also like I've spent obviously I spent like when I talk enough about Shakespeare, like enough times like I read meter and I think about meter a lot,
Right.
and so when I think about iambic pentameter, like
Yeah.
the other day I caught myself I had like 2 or 3 sentences in a row that were all in perfect iambic. I'm like, whoa, that was weird, and it was weird
I
that
was
I
about to bring
noticed
that
it.
up
Yeah.
because they had us do that in theater class. They had us do like monologues in iambic pentameter
It
and
can
just
like
carry on conversations in it.
yeah, it completely changes everything. Oh, there's who's at the door? Is it a cat? Is there a cat?
No, someone was knocking, but I locked it.
Can't you hear me knocking?
The
Watch
cats
like
the cats get in through the hole to your old room.
oh like I can imagine Dad like kicking through the door with a chainsaw, being like, "Hey, I need help taking my boots off." Like, well, now I need a new door.
Oh man. Who's Patrick Mahomes gonna throw to now?
how's how are things around the house now that
Oh.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a receiver to throw to? Is he sad yet?
I'm not sure, but he's pretty excited about Juju Smith-Schuster joining the Chiefs.
Yeah, he doesn't spend any time on TikTok. Why does he care? It's like as soon as Juju started doing TikTok dances, he caught like one pass for a yard.
Yeah, I feel like he did okay for a while until there was that one game where it was bad.
Yeah,
And then it
never
was like,
recovered.
yeah. It's like, no, you're done.
Dude,
You're
there's
done
been a
here.
lot of speaking of footy football.
Yeah.
There's been some madness happening. Like first of all, the Tyreek Hill trade,
People are going everywhere.
Devontae Adams trade, Russell
Who's
Wilson
that?
trade.
I was so worried about the Devonte Adams one that I didn't even mention it in the group text because I was like, I don't want to like break Alex's heart here, but
Right. I didn't want to be the guy. I didn't want to be the one to
I'm
tell
not
him.
gonna say it. I'll just wait until someone else mentions it to him and let that happen.
You
Like,
see, here's the difference between my dad and me. My dad could not wait to call me to tell me that Russell Wilson had been traded.
oh, did he call you?
He called me like the news broke
Oh,
and my phone rang.
oh good.
Like, I was like, "What? What's up?" He's like, "Did you hear Russell Wilson got traded?" I'm like, "Yes, Dad. I have the internet.
Oh, they have that there? Huh.
I have this thing called ESPN, and it alerts me to breaking news stories. This being one of them. Future Hall of Fame quarterback traded. I know about it. Yes.
Oh man.
Future Hall of Fame quarterback traded in my city. I know about it. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And
Jeez.
and then the news was so bad it killed John Clayton.
Oh. Poor guy.
Like
Couldn't
it
handle
just
it.
happened. Nobody
Yeah.
knew. Like so many. Like not very many people knew he was sick. And just like one day I just
Sorry, that made me think of that Norm Macdonald joke.
Norm Macdonald's handling of his own terminal
Oh my
cancer was
God.
like one of the funniest things. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna die, so I mean, whatever."
Oh my God. The fact that joke is probably anytime nobody knew he was sick comes up, I'm gonna think of that and laugh until I probably die.
Remind me of the
It was
punchline.
I feel like he was telling a joke about Hitler or something like that, and they're like, no, Hitler's dead. And they're like, or Norm's like, oh, I didn't even know he was sick. And then, and that was his way of using it towards himself later. Like he just kind of carried on without telling anybody. And then later they put it together that he was really telling that joke about himself so that
Gotcha.
later we would figure it out. Like it was
It's
great.
it's a
Like
lot. It's a
it's
lot
so
like
good.
how it's a lot like how Rodney Dangerfield, after his wife died, like he kept her alive through his act
Right.
by continuing to make jokes about her.
Yeah.
That was his tribute to her to make sure that she didn't die in vain, essentially.
Yeah. That's
Boy, I'll tell you.
Boy, I'll tell you. Yeah, tell me something. What's it like to be an American soldier? Boy, I bet you get no respect. A stolen valor out here, boy, I'll tell you.
oh
I saw a guy the other day. He was wearing army fatigues. He was wearing Nike sneakers. So you wore, I don't fucking know.
That started to turn into the Brooklyn guy.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Don't you ever disrespect me looking
Don't
like
you disrespect me looking like a GI Joe from. Oh man, that's a regional joke.
That's so good.
It's a GI. I wanted to say a GI Joe looking like he came out of GI Joe's, but there's a very, very specific audience for people who know about GI Joes.
You could have said like a GI Joe
like-
coming out of Tigard or something with the Nikes.
Yeah, but GI Joe coming out of
Four
GI
people
Joe's.
got that joke, and 3 of them are on the podcast.
And the other one's supposed to be here.
Right. And you'd be like, I remember GI Joes.
Yeah.
Man, they had like. All right, I'm gonna be Alex. I'm gonna be Alex for the next 10 minutes of this podcast.
Please welcome Alex Maxwell.
Here I am. I don't know why they invited me back, but I was invited and joined by the best to ever do it. That guy over there. Anyway, so yeah, what are we saying?
You gotta be both you and Alex.
I gotta be me and Alex. I've gotta.
Sorry, I don't make the rules.
Okay. Hey Ben, read me in. Where were we?
Wait. Here. You can read him this song. Push it. Push it. Hit it. Oh, baby, baby. Baby, baby. Oh, baby, baby. It's that guy over there.
So, is Robin Jake now?
I am for that second. I was.
It's one take Jake, but here's me introducing myself.
Sure.
15 minutes into the show. I gotta bring back the music for this.
This is the weirdest episode of the multiverse I've ever seen.
This is what happens when you bring Ben on board. He doesn't say a lot, but he creates chaos.
He is the real agent of chaos.
What you drinking there, bud?
A bud.
Apple juice.
I can't have that. I'm diabetic.
It's apple juice because my show with Alex and Jake does not support underage drinking.
Oh god. Oh god.
I love that the way that ramped up for you.
Oh my god. I hate it so much.
Well, I have a Bud Light seltzer here that was a different flavor. But now I didn't like the coconut lime. Okay? I don't understand why I have to get 4 different flavors in a variety pack. Okay, just give me the mango.
That was good. The status. That was perfect.
It's these indecisive millennials.
It's indecisive millennials. That's what I'm saying. And I'm diabetic.
It's very good.
And I'm diabetic is the name of this episode.
And I'm diabetic. Oh god.
We were talking about the ciders in the group chat, one of many I'm a part of.
Right. Ooh.
Talking about ciders, and they all taste the same. Everything tastes the same. Everything is bad. Everything is bad.
Oh.
I remember when I was the negative Nancy of everybody's group. Then I met Alex. And I didn't have to be anymore. Yeah, the unlock.
It's definitely entertaining.
I hope he's listening for once this week.
He said he usually listens when he's not on.
That's true. He hasn't worked past that whole sound of his own voice thing.
There was a time.
Did you guys catch that burp? I tried to move the mic.
Well, now that you brought it up.
Damn it.
That was well brought up.
Too bad you weren't.
There it is.
Too bad you weren't.
But I'm sorry, as you were saying, sir, we were interrupted by somebody with a 2 at the beginning of their birth year.
What were we talking about? We're talking about all the people that moved in sports, but then we moved on. So
G.I.
I don't know what
Joes?
we're talking about. G.I.
We're
Joes?
talking about GI Joes, and then oh yeah, I guess I have mentioned GI Joes on the podcast when I talked about talking to Jerry Allen and Fat Guy Fighting.
Yeah. And I have shoes from GI Joes. I mean, I can't wear them anymore because they're worn out, but I still have them.
They still exist. They
That
are
pair
shoes.
of shoes that I dunked in the first time, those were from GI Joes.
I remember I used to get like all my sports equipment from GI Joes. GI Joes or Buy Mart.
Oh, GI Joes was too good for me. I couldn't afford GI Joes.
Well, I say GI Joes. GI Joes clearance.
I guess we had I got a lot of stuff at Fred Meyer.
Emporium.
Oh my God, Emporium. Did you ever go to the Hub?
No, but we had Montgomery Ward.
Oh yeah, we had one of those. Roseburg had one.
That was a weird. Like I remember, like you know how when you're a kid you have those indelible memories. I have one of like my grandma bought me like Madden '94, I think it was. And so we're walking around Montgomery Ward, and I'm like walking around just reading the box like over and over and over.
Yeah.
And at like one point, like I read one of the things. It's like the highlights of the things that are cool about the game this year, and it highlights like shoestring catches. I'm like, whoa, shoestring catches. So like, and then she's like, "Is that the game you want?" We're like, really? And then and then I was like, "Well, no," because I realized I had like 4 football games, and so like, she's like, "Is that the game you really want?" And I ended up getting something different. But I just remember walking around Montgomery Ward, reading the Super Nintendo box, being like, "Shoestring catches, neat." Like, I was such a nerd. Well, because also my grandma would shop for weeks every day, and
Still does.
still does. But QVC makes it so she doesn't have to leave the house. I'm surprised I'm honestly surprised she hasn't really discovered Amazon.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if
Or
you're
God
using
forbid.
QVC, how is that evaded you? Like,
A
what was
little
the
bit of
last thing?
little bit of a technophobia,
Oh, okay.
but
Well, have somebody else order it.
yeah, hey, get this for me. Well,
Like,
then she
hey,
has to, yeah,
hey, I need
that's the
this.
issue. She gets it and
Oh,
doesn't tell people.
self-reliance. Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, she
And
doesn't
then
want
she
to
doesn't
tell
have to.
anybody
Yeah.
that she's buying the shit.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it
we,
happens.
it is what it is. But I would bring the instruction manuals from like Nintendo games and Super Nintendo games and just read them as I was just like walking around next to the shopping cart. I was a fucking nerd. Like it's like I knew everything about Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3 by the time I was done with a week.
It's so crazy that video games used to come with like a literal book,
Mm-hmm.
and now you don't get anything. They're like,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, that's what I said. They said figure
It's
it
all
out.
on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't get paper in there. We don't need to give you paper. Shit, you don't even need the game. We'll just let you download it.
Just download it.
That'll
Like
be your copy.
yeah, you're lucky if in your physical copy if they put like a little mural on the inside of the paper so you can turn around
Right.
and make it look cool.
Well, now they're. I mean, I don't know if it's done much, but the idea to play games on the cloud where you don't even install them.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I played
the
a
next
ton of
big
games
thing.
on the crowd.
On the crowd. Oh,
On the
hello.
Eric Baldwin.
I mean,
It's
I play
it's
Switch and
ping.
PC, so I've like never paid for a physical game.
Yeah, he just steals all the Switch games.
Well, good for you.
You need to send me a step-by-step instruction on how to steal Switch games because I want to steal Switch games because I don't want to pay for Switch games, but I want to play Switch games. Especially
I'm
because
not sure if I can show you how to steal them, but I can show you how to get on the internet with it.
I can
Okay.
show you how to get on the internet with it. He says, "Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I'm reading between
It'll
the
void
lines
the
here.
warranty, but you'll be fine.
It'll avoid the warranty, but you'll be fine."
Famous last words.
Hey, this might hurt just a minute, but you're gonna be okay.
I see. I have the opposite problem with my Switch. Is I keep buying games and then I never play it.
Ah,
Like I have 9 games and I've maybe put in like an hour on it
well, since I've
total.
moved it out, moved it back out into the main room. Like it's moved back into rotation.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's for a while it was out of sight, out of mind, and so it didn't
Yeah.
get played hardly at all. But like I really want to play the new Pokemon game. I want to play the Harvest Moon game. Not Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing.
I just got Mario Kart, and then I saw that they're making a bunch of maps or tracks for it.
Yeah.
So I want to start playing that again.
Yeah, I've got the cart. Ben's got the cart. Alex has got the cart.
Yeah.
My boy Aaron's got the cart. We got a whole bunch of dudes on there.
Everybody's got the cart.
One of the things
I've never really played online with that, so maybe we should figure that out.
One of the fun things about the Mario Kart Online specifically is like you can pick whether you want to play regionally or like globally.
Oh,
so like
okay.
do you want to play people who are around you? Do you want to play people nationally, or do you want to play like everybody? And it's really funny to play like you see these people whose scores are like 4,000. It means that like they've won God knows how many races, because my number is like 10.
Yeah. Yeah, Call of Duty is the same, but it's just by time. So if I wanted to play against people from around the world, I just have to stay up till like 4 a.m.
Right.
But if not, I'm playing locally ish.
Right. Well, I always remember like playing on Madden.
Yeah.
It's always interesting the times of day that you play will give you different types of players.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like there's a lot of casuals around from like 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It gets a little filthy after 10, and like middle of the day, don't go on in the middle of the day unless
those guys have a stream, and they also have a camera on them. Like they're
they have nothing but time.
Nothing but time. Yep.
If you look at their name and it just says Mike Jones YTV, you're like, God damn it, again? And you know that you're just on somebody's stream with him going, that's a dot. That's a dot. That's a dot. Oh, pick. That's my ball. That's my ball. Put that on replay. Put him on replay. What you doing, Max Kelvin? What you doing, Max Kelvin? You ain't doing nothing. Oh, he already quit. He already quit because he knows. He knows he can't hang with Mike Jones, YouTube TV. We out of here.
The way that shit talking has evolved on video games is insane. Like it's gone down to such a much more respectable level for the most part.
Truly.
Like it's ridiculous. I mean, like the stuff we used to say on Call of Duty would get you banned from YouTube right now.
Yeah, not okay.
Like honestly, nope, okay. Can't say that. Can't say that.
But like, yeah, what I said right now would be considered me dressing somebody down.
Right.
Like I basically just ate your lunch on stream. Yeah. And I didn't really say anything inflammatory.
Right.
Like I celebrated with my team.
Right. Like when I see, my favorite is like I play Call of Duty a ton, and we play Warzone, and so there's the open mic period when you're getting killed. So usually I'm like, oh, he's beating me off. He's beating me off. All right, he's on top of me. He's inside me. Like just stuff like that.
Right.
So when they hear it, they're like, the fuck? Or like,
hey papi.
Yeah.
Papi chulo.
Gotta just troll a little bit from the deaths.
You gotta bring it back.
Or you're adopted. Just I'm dying. You're adopted.
Santa's not real.
No! You have no parents.
So Ben, American hero.
Yes.
What? I don't think I've asked you this question. Maybe I have, and if I had, I was probably high. What was the worst part of being in basic training and then tech school?
Okay, so the worst part of basic training was being basically cut off from society. I had half an hour every week where I could like use my phone.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember getting super pissed because I missed your call one week, and like I got really mad at the people I was around for no reason.
And then
sounds like a reason.
Fair.
So So here's a little something they don't want you to know. They only call it tech school in the Air Force.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bum bum bum.
you heard it here first. This is a My Show exclusive.
But yeah, while I was at
almost said,
AIT,
cut that, cut
which
that.
is
Leave it in.
Well, I was at AIT, which is advanced individual training for you civilians out there.
Oh yeah. Thank you
Um,
for dumbing it down for us civilians.
Would not have been able to get past that one.
The worst part of that, so we were still basically under COVID for a lot of it. So we got the jab at basic, and then when we got to AIT, they were like, "Hey, you can take your masks off. It's cool. You don't have to wear a mask." And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, "Psych, put your masks back on."
Gotcha.
Gotcha, bitch.
And eat these
Gotcha,
crab
bitch.
legs.
No, we never got crab legs.
That's a good. I know.
Not
I can
once.
see that because you're here and not dead.
Right. Have you seen the
Um,
LeBron commercial with the crab walking Hummer, the electric Humvee?
What? No.
Oh, I'll find it and send it to you.
LeBron James with a sideways.
I had crab
like,
legs today,
oh, like in the army or just in general?
just in general.
What kind of crab? Dungeness? King?
I believe they
Rock?
were. I believe they were Dungeness. I believe they were Dungeness.
Dungeness?
Let the record show.
The record.
What's
The
the
record
record show?
shows. The record shows Dungeness. Thank you.
I had them in like a boil, like a Cajun boil pot.
So what'd you have in there? You had some lemon, some Creole seasoning.
It was a garlic parmesan. Oh, here's the video.
Oh, here it is. This is a YouTube exclusive. We're watching YouTube on YouTube. This is the crabs are walking sideways. They're walking towards.
And it's playing Missy Elliott.
Is going walking sideways, and here's
Yeah.
LeBron James. He's
No,
like
get your
crab
freak
walking.
on.
Oh,
Get your
crab
freak on.
Yep.
The whole time it's just that.
And the crabs are like,
It's
"What
just
the
The
turn.
shit?"
crabs are like,
I don't understand.
Yay! They're like, "Take us to your
they're
leader."
like, is that Johnny Depp?
Like, no, Johnny Depp. That kind of reminds me of our idea of having like miniature octopi as the pests in Seattle.
Yeah. That commercial is funny though. I like it because the crabs are like, oh, look at that. The whole time the crabs are just moving through the streets trying to get to LeBron.
I pinch.
The pinch.
Gotcha, bitch.
How far is that done blowing up? Or people
Let's
still...
see. I think it's pretty much done. It's at like 14,800.
Pretty solid.
Just watch it real quick. I can't see if you can see it. Ow! Gotcha, bitch. That's what he gets.
I like that you knew or I guess you were watching the screen, but I was like, that's pretty good if you were just calling it from knowing the length of the video.
I mean, I've seen it probably 24 times at least.
He's like,
it's funny every time.
Like every time I click it, the number goes up by 1. It's amazing.
I mean, I put it in the same class as Tommy Boy running into the sliding glass door. It makes me laugh every time.
Every single holy shnikey.
Son of a. Yeah.
It hurts not so much here or here, right
in here.
My God, what happened to your face?
Nope.
I knew it. I have to deter these things.
Ugh, caught this one right after Thanksgiving dinner.
Tommy like wingy.
Tommy want wingy.
This has been the Tommy Boy portion of this show. Occasionally we just sit around and quote movies at each other. It's honestly how men communicate. Like
like it doesn't have to be even on a podcast. You can go tailgating with us, and I guarantee you're gonna hear at least one movie quote.
and which will lead to another, which will lead to another.
And I don't even care if you're only there for
That's how it
like 2
works.
minutes. You stop by to grab a beer, and somebody's gonna say something, and we'll be like, that'll happen, you know.
Hoping to get Ben out to a tailgate this year.
Yeah, good.
That's the plan.
Maybe
Ducks.
early on get them when they're still in leggings and stuff.
Get them while they're hot.
Get them while they're hot. So
Yeah.
I've got
Double
a baseball problem.
Oh,
So
who's on
the
first?
kids, no, the kids are actually pretty decent.
Scoring?
They're reasonably good at the sport.
Game.
The problem is that we are sponsored by Pegasus Pizza, and I want to do a Dundies sort of awards at the end of the season for the team. But the problem is everything I come up with does not work. I cannot have for children. I can't call it the Peggies.
No, yeah.
I can't.
Probably not. Probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Can't call it the Sussies. I can't call it the Hornies. Like I got like I can't call it then like the Pegasus just sounds dumb.
Wingies.
The
Like Tommy Boy, and then
Tommy
everybody like
wingies.
yeah.
The wingies. That's actually not bad.
No,
I think
welcome.
that may be it.
That's the one.
We may have solved my problem while I was trying to be funny.
There you go. Yeah, and then everybody gets hot wings, barbecue wings. While they get their wingies, and yeah.
But like that was
win.
the first thing
Does
I thought
Pegasus
immediately.
Pizza have wings?
Well, I don't know. I've never
Be a
been
lot
there.
cooler if they did.
all right.
It would make a lot more sense.
I almost choked on my beverage today when I came up with Peggy's. I was like, I can't call them that.
Nope, that won't work. Well, maybe in parts of Seattle.
Well, yeah, not for the level of ball I'm playing though. That's more of what they do over on the other side of the lake.
Yeah. Oh man, James Harden just got a steal by doing this. The guy threw the ball into his hand and it bounced up. He's like, "Oh, I got the ball!" Like he was not playing defense.
It's like I am a statue. If you run into me, it's a charge.
I hate charges. I hate the charge. Like, not a fan of people drawing charges because most of the time they're moving. Like, if you're barreling down the court and a guy's been there since you got across half court, that's your fault. But most of the time they're like, "I'm moving with you. I'm not moving with you." Don't do that.
I got in front of you and I stopped.
I was there. Don't do that. Like, if we're playing outside, I'm kicking you in the nuts.
I'm stepping on him.
And not feeling bad about it. Like, that's not a charge. You're a bitch.
Yeah, don't take charges. Don't take charges in pickup basketball. Don't call illegal defense. Like, don't be that guy.
Did you see the dude that got ejected in the North Carolina game this weekend?
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Egregious. I mean, it was he elbowed the guy because he was mad, but I didn't think he should have been ejected. It definitely let Baylor come back.
That's what I've heard. I heard that the general consensus is that like he probably shouldn't have done it. It probably could have looked like an accident, but he probably shouldn't have been kicked out of the game. Maybe
it was intentional. It was intentional. Like, I mean, if you're asking a guy who's been sneaky before in basketball, that was intentional. You would have probably said it was intentional.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to intentionally try to hurt somebody. I know what it's like to intentionally be hurt by people too.
Right.
Everybody hurts. Ben, what's the dirtiest play that ever happened to you on a football field?
It's probably during practice.
Oh, well, yeah, you Lebanon boys are a different breed.
So it was during practice, and we had just learned how to do a cut.
Okay.
Like as a receiver?
No, I was offensive line.
Oh, cut block. Gotcha.
Yes. And so I was there, I was ready, I was down, they called, the ball went up. I charged forward, nobody was there. I topple, ass over tea kettle. The dude was down on the ground. curled up to trip me. And
What
he
a
thought it
dick.
was the funniest thing ever.
Well, I probably would have laughed if I
I
was
mean,
him too.
I wasn't even there and I laughed. So, I mean,
So you're
sorry.
talking to a football coach.
I laugh
And
at
then
those
Coach
things.
Ryan King chewed the kid out.
Well, he also wore golf shoes on a football field.
He sure did.
Guy's a dork. You should go back to teach. You should go back to teaching math and shutting the fuck up.
He's a lot better math teacher.
Well, I'm sure his parents taught him how to get from first to third. He's the type of motherfucker. You know why he should play? He should coach baseball because he's the type of motherfucker who woke up on second base and thought he hit a double.
Okay.
He coaches golf.
I'm sure he does.
Huh.
He would coach a
That's why he wears
luxury
golf
sport. He's also big involved on the tennis team, the swim team.
He really
Oh,
is.
wow.
Yeah, all the privileged teams. The teams that you have to either be rich or have nothing else going on in your life to do.
It's the teams that you don't sweat in unless you want to sweat, like
Right.
that sort of thing. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, well,
Like tennis, minimal. Like if I just hit it past you the first time, I don't have to do shit.
yeah. I mean, I guess tennis can be pretty sweaty, but they always seem to wear, like, at least on TV, they wear some really nice stuff. You know, it's not like they're gonna get dirty.
Yeah, and yeah, well, unless they're on the clay,
Yeah, and that's a whole different thing. But
that's a whole different ball of wax.
eesh. Oh man.
Ben, you have any experience
I
with balls of
remember-
wax?
Oh.
No comment.
I almost said no comment. Oh.
I remember when I was like 8, Jake really wanted me to play tennis because like the worst professional tennis player makes so much money.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to. Also, first of all, more college scholarships for tennis. I was trying to move him toward tennis. I was like, hey man,
Right.
you know, it's like yeah, you don't get hit by anybody. You're not going to get your brains scrambled. And I was like, look, number 500 in the world made $375,000 before endorsements. I was like, and you ever heard of this guy? No, exactly.
Well, if I've never heard of him, then his endorsements can't be that good.
Maybe.
Here in the United States, where tennis isn't a big deal, like that was the thing. Like track and field gets major sponsorships in Europe
Mhm. Well, and Oregon.
In Europe,
and Oregon,
Yeah.
which is trying to be Europe in some places.
In a lot of places, yeah. That's true.
In other places, it's trying to be Russia.
Jeez.
or Amsterdam.
That's more
Yeah.
more accurate. Yeah.
Well, there's
that's
there's
a lot of places in Oregon.
I mean, yeah, Purple Haze used to be about Seattle, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's no fog in South County. That's weed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah. Did you see the NIL deal that Adidas just basically signed to everybody?
You sent me a link to it and I skimmed it, but I was busy.
So here's the Cliff's Notes version of probably the same thing you got. Basically, Adidas has said any of the schools that we provide equipment to, if any of you players wear our stuff, we will pay you.
Hmm.
That's the short version of it.
Good for them.
And yeah, I mean, so basically they're saying there's like 50,000 people that Adidas just signed. So now they're
Dang.
waiting to see what Nike comes out with because they're like, basically Nike's like, God damn it, we're working on it. Now we have to do something bigger.
Right. They're like, we got to give NIL deals and everyone gets a shoe deal.
Because in that same article, it was talking about how, I think it was the same article, maybe it was a different article today, but it was talking about how Oregon, for what they give in Nike stuff, is less than Oregon State. It was like Oregon State's average NIL deal was I think it was around $1,100 if you take away the one chick that was in the Olympics that makes like 200,000.
Right.
And then
Which is a
Oregon's
little not exactly comparing like to
and
like.
then Oregon's, if you take out Thibodeau, his $100,000 with Phil Knight, you're down to like $785 for everybody on average. So it's like Nike is about to do something, they just haven't yet. And it seems crazy because Oregon was like the first school to be like, "Hey, we have a whole department now for NIL deals."
Like we officially have a department of paying players.
Which I think that was their
I
way
just-
of saying, "We have a department and we're going to make sure we only pay people we really want to."
Yeah.
I think that's what that was.
I just googled what an NI deal was.
Oh yeah,
NIL?
name, image, and likeness
Yeah,
rights.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know.
Ed O'Bannon is the reason for all this.
Yeah. Also, the reason we don't have NCAA football on
Yep.
the Xbox and
It's
PlayStation.
apparently coming back eventually.
That's the plan. Football, and they're gonna do basketball, and I've heard there's talks of other sports or maybe like a Summer Olympics type game where it has a bunch of different things.
I was
That'd be
legitimately
fun.
good. I was legitimately good at the final 2K college basketball game.
Yeah, I remember
Like
that.
I would consider myself competitive.
Yeah. Do you remember so I mentioned the Summer and Olympic Games back, God, this is old, like Commodore 64 stuff. They had a Summer Olympic game and a Winter Olympic game, and then
Game.
games.
Game.
And then the better one of the three best one was the California Games.
I remember California games.
See, and that was the one that actually looked like it had some okay graphics. Like it was, I mean, for Commodore. Those games were.
What entails a California game?
It was like surfing and BMX and hacky sack, and there was a frisbee game, skateboarding. Yeah, I think that's. I think we just named all of them. It was only like
competitive
5.
tagging.
Competitive tag.
Have you watched that?
Yes. There was a TV show that existed.
Well,
on
I know
Netflix.
we've watched it, but Ben, have you seen that? The competitive tag stuff?
Well, I was referring to tagging as in like spray paint, but
Oh,
no,
I have not seen it.
Nope.
we were talking about tag.
Nope.
Oh, and then there was that thing you were talking about the other day, the cake. Is it cake show?
Is it cake?
Riv was watching that today, and I was like, "Hey, Jake was just talking about that," and then I just stood there and watched with her. I was like, "Huh." All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, it's like the most absurd premise for a TV show I've ever seen. Yeah, 5 cake makers will make a cake or a taco, and
Right.
you have to figure
It
out
was that
what
one.
is a cake and
Yeah.
what is a taco.
Oh my god.
Netflix
I got
just
mad.
like looks at TikTok
Yep.
trends and says, "Hey, we're gonna make a show of this."
That's a show.
Is that a show yet? Because
I mean, Comedy Central did the same thing with the Vantalord. They're like, "That's a show."
Dude, that shit was hilarious.
I didn't have time to get to it.
Well, I don't know if
good?
it's been on TV, but I mean, like the whole Vantalord thing was funny, and I don't think he's been on TikTok since then. So maybe he actually got a job.
Maybe they're like, you can't do this anymore because you are now signed to an NIL deal with Comedy Central.
Comedy Central's NIL deals, those are big.
Dude, I was watching the latest episode of South Park. They are absolutely trying to get canceled. Like there were 2 separate instances of horse rape in the most recent episode of South Park, and they're just like, you can tell they don't want to do the show anymore.
Is the horse the perpetrator or the victim?
Yes.
Oh man, I didn't even get that far in the thought process. I was just horse rape. All right.
Ben grew up watching Law and Order SVU, so he's already moved on to the second part of the show where they're in court. Like, let me interview the victim.
The mental image. So
yeah, I bet you were.
Nay.
But yeah, it's like it's so clear that they're just trying to get canceled because it just starts with. I mean, the whole thing's a metaphor for the refiring up of the Cold War, and So the whole thing is like, oh, they're just going to use this horse and pony show to fire the missiles, is what it essentially comes down to.
Oh, okay. That's hilarious.
So that's your overall theme of your episode. But yeah,
Wow.
in the meantime, this horse is taking shits on the dressage course, and then just
Yeah.
full on attacking another horse with another child rider on the other horse.
Jeez.
While Butters
Oh,
is
so it
on
was
the
horse
horse.
on horse.
It's horse on horse. That's why, yes, perpetrator and victim.
Of course,
Okay.
of course.
Of course, of course. It was horse on horse. Dun dun. Wait, that's more of a CSI Miami. Like,
Right.
it was a horse on horse. Of course, of course.
Yeah!
On a speedboat with the sugar
With a horse on it.
Right. Gotta have a horse, of
Horse
course.
with sunglasses.
Oh, man.
I don't know what it is, mister, but you've got it. I was talking about Young Frankenstein today at work, just randomly. We're like, that's one of the greatest movies ever made.
I don't know if I've ever watched the whole thing all the way through.
It's, if you haven't, you owe it to yourself. It's
I
fantastic.
should. I
Gene
should.
Wilder at his best, I would say. I think it's probably his best. It's either that or Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles was one that, like, even my
He was more of a
parents
supporting
and
role in
grandparents
Blazing
liked.
Saddles.
What's up? What's up, Ben?
He was more of a supporting role in Blazing Saddles. He had the
Yeah.
spotlight in Young Frankenstein.
But I'm not debating whether he was the star or the co-star. I'm debating
Right.
whether or not it was his best performance.
I agree.
Someone's got to go back and get a shitload of dimes. That's, man, yeah. Young Frankenstein, Mel Brooks, what a comic genius, man.
I just saw him on. What did I just
Piss
see
on
him?
you! I work for Mel Brooks.
I work for Mel Brooks.
What
Was he? I think I saw the same thing you're talking about. I saw him on something too.
No, I think it was. Hold on.
Maybe I was just watching.
I'm looking.
Maybe I was just watching old Johnny Carson.
Does he do a voice on Hotel Transylvania?
Maybe.
Like the second one. Hotel
Or was he involved
Transylvania.
somehow in Righteous Gemstones?
That
I
could be it.
I think that's where because like as I said that, I'm kind of seeing his name in that font, the Righteous Gemstones font.
Yep, he's Hotel Transylvania. That's what Rev was watching, and I heard him.
Schwarzes.
Oh, what is that from?
Blazing Saddles.
Spaceballs.
Oh,
What?
everything.
No, the Schwartz. May the
Schwartzes?
Schwartz be with you. Oh, Ben's busted out his knuckle dusters there. Legal for him to have because he is an American hero.
Something
Wait.
like that.
What?
I got them off Wish.com.
Wish is solid when you need it
They're
to be.
aluminum.
Aluminium.
They're
Aluminum?
aluminum. Indeed.
There's a dude in Oregon that makes those that I found on TikTok. And I don't remember why this dude started showing up on my shit, but I was like, I need some of that. Like he's got some cool stuff.
It was like, doesn't he 3D print them or something?
No, he's got like a whole setup where he makes them and carves them out of solid pieces and
Did you ever go into Lazar's Bazaar in Eugene?
Yeah. When I was a
How
kid,
bizarre.
that was the only place that you could get colored hair dye. Like that was the big thing.
Wow.
Yeah. That was the big thing that they had.
I remember going in there and seeing Angelina. There was a poster, like they had posters, and I remember seeing like Angelina Jolie before she was famous. Like she did basically a topless photo shoot. And I'm just like, dude, holy shit, Angelina Jolie's boobs. So that's what they look like.
Neat.
Neat. Basically how I felt about Miley Cyrus too.
She's
like,
blessed.
like, oh, so there they are.
I will not turn down the opportunity to look.
You know who else I won't turn down the opportunity to look, and she is not providing us with many opportunities to not look. Britney Spears is all out there, and yes, I agree.
Thank you.
We've all wanted to know for like 20 years.
I mean, it's a few years too late, but you know,
still
I'm okay
counts.
with it.
But hey, you know what?
Still counts.
I'm older too. I'm older too.
I'm not.
Well, you know, it'd be a lot cooler if you were.
All right, all right, all right. Shit.
Cheese.
Oh, there it is.
There he is. Ben, you got anything for these people?
Well, hey.
Shit. No.
Nope, don't step in that.
Don't step in that. Queso, cheese. Well, these people, they could have been anywhere in the world, but they're here with us. We appreciate that. I want to thank Ben for coming on in a supporting role. His best performance yet. We're not going to debate whether it was a guest role or not.
I'm gonna rank it right now. 1 of 1.
1 of 1. His best guest performance ever. Make sure you're checking out our YouTube and redarrowpnw.com to get there more easily. You can also find this podcast at badfacts.info.
Badfacts.info.
There he is. There he is. All right.
There's a guy.
There's a guy. But for this episode, this edition of my show with Alex and Jake, good night, universe.
That's a podcast.
It's a podcast.
I said that.
That's a podcast.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Yeah. You
Go
say
Ducks.
whatever you want.
Yeah, he said it. That's fucking A right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for being numero 3.
Numero 3.
Good night, y'all.
Later, bees.
Right. I'm gonna go play some Calls of Duties.
I'm gonna go do some stuff.
Bye.
Bye.